Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics, Non-Classics. This is episode number 3430 and Doubleshot number 3324. Well, we have two more trades for you. One is the penultimate trade for this run. The other one is the final trade. First we have is Doctor Strange by Jed MacKay, Volume 2, The War-Hound of the Vishanti. Collecting issue 6 to 10 of Doctor Strange. I believe this is Volume 6. Yes. Oh, and there's another Doctor Strange book coming out soon. And it's going to be done by Derek Landry. Not Jed MacKay anymore. Oh, no. I'm not sure why. So we have Jed MacKay here, the writing, with Juan Gideon on the hour. For issues 6 and 7 to 10 is Pascal Ferry, Alex Ross with the cover arc here. So issue number 7 is pretty much basically the origin of General Strange. The character popped up in the last trade, and it's basically him in his long war with the 7 spears. It's like Trinity of Ashes. It lasts for about 5,000 years. And he also has to rescue one of his lieutenants, which is because he won the war end. And eventually, the war is over after 5,000 years. And at one point, we actually see Doctor Strange here wearing an outfit he wore back in the 1990s, kind of. So, and let's just look at the history of, General Strange. And then we have General Strange interacting with his present-day counterparts. Also, interesting little thing, now in the Mark Waid run, he actually dyed his hair black to get rid of the gray temples. Now it's back. Yep. Yeah, in the Jed MacKay book, he basically stopped doing that for some reason. So, of course, Clea, is, trying to fight back. General Strange does his own thing, whatever the heck he wants. Yeah, and then Clea, basically, it's like, all about, actually, no, he's talking to Umar and chastising her. And then we have Pandora talking to Clea. Yep. And they chat for a bit. And of course talking to Wong, who's an agent of them. And there's at one point here, it seems like Doctor Strange with his beautiful wife. It's almost like he really wants to make out with her, and then they just stop, and then he just does the whole thing. Of course, he alliance with the Vishanti. And then have Clea show up here at the end of issue number 7. And then we have where they go back to a farm in Nebraska, where Clea's wearing her classic look from the 60s. Yes. And then they go back to war camp, which was the Strange Family farm, and this whole thing with the Vishanti, with the whole thing with the war camp. Oh yeah, and then all of a sudden Clea starts making out with General Strange, for reasons, and of course Doctor Strange sees this, and of course Clea proceeds to stab him. Yep. They fight again, of course, and then basically like, you should threaten my wife, and that ends issue number 8. Yep. And then we have the headquarters. They have the secret hangar codenamed Anchorite. We have one is made up of 3 people. Yes, a government agency known for keeping an eye on magic is made up of Pandora, the director, Wong, Doctor Strange's former pupil, and Dr. Z. Yes, the guy who they decided to convert to a good guy after apparently he was a former villain, and they kept this blimp. They figured, you're going to arrest me? No, we're actually here to recruit you. Yep. So then, of course, he has a fight with General Strange. And basically, and of course, Clea is to be there thanks to her adorable little sister. Yes. Like friends. Yep. And the Psycho Zeppelin of Freaky Dr. Z. Yes, the blimp, which is basically their base here. And basically, in a way, he wraps up his fight with General Strange. And basically, he just puts him in the center place to have him retire. And then they have a private chat. Also, Clea names her new little sister after Doctor Strange's late sister, Donna. He's like, you do her memory service, Clea. So it's like, yeah, they both have sisters named Donna. Like, everything's all happy. And then apparently Pandora herself, basically, it's revealed that Ogmon, she was suspected of murdering him, but nope, it was General Strange who murdered him. And Clea here looks gorgeous with this dress that she's wearing. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, wearing this off is like, yeah, Doctor Strange is one lucky man. And he's like showing his love for her. And says, and for now, a new year for New Strange? Yeah. And the new year is a time to blood hunt. Yes. Which sadly resolves basically something that I think a lot of people were not happy with the fact Marvel did this. Yeah. But this was really good. Give it roughly a 10 out of 10. Now, there's one more trade left to go. And then sadly this run will be wrapped up. Yep. And then what's left? Well, Doctor Strange of Asgard and Doctor Strange with their connection book. Next up we have is the final trade for Chip, basically for Cody Ziglar's run for Deadpool. Deadpool by Cody Ziglar Volume 3, Revenge of Wade Wilson, collecting issues of Deadpool Volume 8, issues 13 and 15. Like, wait, then how come it's 3 issues? Why is the book like this? Well, because the final issue is issue 350. And I'll get to the reasons why basically this book had to end. So, coming off the crossover they had with Miles. So, by the way, we have Cody Ziglar do the writing with Renee Agato on the artwork interior, and the cover was by Taryn Clarke. So, mostly Putty have just, well, Wolverine show up here with, of course, everybody taking this one villain who I think it's called Death Cub. Of course, you have LA fighting up these other people here, and mostly put for these last few issues, it's just the two Deadpools, Taskmaster and Princess, fighting out these other people. Then we have where Ziglar from 2024, number 1, probably from the start of this run. Yes. Yeah, and then of course he gets a knife and beats Death Grip here. And it's like, death is yours, leading to the final issue of the book, which the first story in here is actually the conclusion of this book. Yep. And it's like it was Mosa Blade, which is the blade that cuts off healing factor. Yeah, and they pretty much defeat Death Grip. And then pretty much everybody returns home. And it's like everyone's all wrapped up with a nice little bow. But then we have a next story here done by Cody Ziglar, Andre DeVito on the artwork. And we also have Gary Duggan doing an issue for this issue. Yes, Gary Duggan. I'm like, not a bad idea to do. After all, he had a very lengthy run on Deadpool. And I'm glad they've run him back the book. They even have like a story in here by the guy who wrote Deadpool Samurai. Yep, they throw that in here too. I'll get to more people missing from this book. We'll get to that. So, mostly Doug and Princess there. It's basically Day with Princess, the symbiote dog who debuted during Alyssa Wong's run. And the next story is basically where we have this little Ito Kamari, which I think is his Duggan story. And, well, they fight back and forth, and of course he just blows him a kiss. And then we move on to Deadpool Samurai stuff, which, yes, this is basically Deadpool Samurai with Scarecrow Spider. It's basically a story written by that particular writer, and that's it. It's pretty good. I'm going to give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Final thoughts on Cody Ziglar's run for Deadpool. Yes, kind of interesting though, the fact that this book managed to last 15 issues. It's the first run since Scotty Young's run to last 15 issues. But the biggest problem with Deadpool the last few years, Rob Liefeld's pointed this out, though. I point out a lot of books don't last very long. Well, kind of the reason why is because the book doesn't get a lot of attention. Yeah, it's like Marvel just doesn't care to promote it at all. Excuse me. So, oh, by the way, for 350, I'm glad Duggan and I'm glad him and the Deadpool Samurai writer got a chance to write this. But I would think of other writers who should have had a chance to write Deadpool 350. Like, I would throw in Daniel Way, Joe Kelly, Rob Liefeld. I would throw in Gail Simone. She works for you guys. So why not basically have her do a story for this book? I mean, it's Deadpool 350. So another reason why the book had to end is because, well, they, according to what Marvel wanted to do with this next book, which Cody Ziglar did write this book per se, Deadpools and Wolverines. And you see the title, like, wait, Marvel already has how to call this. It's called Deadpool Wolverine. Awesome title by Joe Kelly. And apparently the stupid plan for this book was to cancel Deadpool and Wolverine's separate solo titles for this daddy-daughter book. And the question was why? No idea why. And then when the book ended, which apparently this was going to be an ongoing series, but my guess is that the sales didn't exactly kick in Marvel wanted to. So they made a limited series lasting 3 issues, and then they launched Undead Deadpool for the Age of Revolution stuff, and then we have another Deadpool book coming out this year known as Deadpool Wade Wilson by Tim Seeley. I'm like, that's interesting. He has written Deadpool before. You're like, which Deadpool book? Deadpool versus Thanos. Yes, he wrote that. So at least they have an ongoing writer who actually has experience writing Deadpool, which, gotta appreciate that. But here's the thing. Did I think the Cody Ziglar was bad? No. I didn't think so. I think that in the case the crossover with Miles was interesting, but I think that was Marvel getting desperate for this book. It's like, yeah, we'll keep Miles out, but not frickin' Deadpool. Yes. Don't know the reason for that, and that's kind of how it is with that. Yeah. Also, Marvel had decided to they pretty much, it's like this book, Marvel just had to release issues because I think I heard something that apparently this book was going to end a bit sooner, but they realized, oh crap, basically 350 is going to, let's continue for another few issues. It's almost like, and this is my personal theory, is that the book was supposed to end with the crossover Miles Morales. These 3 issues feel like basically just a story that had to be written, but in actuality, they probably didn't. Yeah. I mean, do I think Tim Seeley would do a good job book? I think he will. One thing that the Deadpool book is missing for quite a while, and the thing is, I asked Duggan about this on Twitter. Why did he have it where his last issue where Deadpool was wiping away his memories of the run that you work on? He said the reason why he did that to give Deadpool a fresh start, which meant forgetting he had a daughter and the fact he had a smoking hot wife who for some weird reason decided to marry Dracula. Yes, she married Dracula. Dracula himself has returned. No mention of the wife. As for Sakila, that's basically Deadpool's wife, she has not been seen since that crossover, Dead to His Part. Yes, ever since they did the crossover, she has completely disappeared from Marvel Comics. No mention of her per se. I definitely thought at the time, basically, him having a wife was a smart idea. And then Marvel did nothing. It's like this is business for something. Maybe somebody rare pick it up, but nope. Nobody with it because next episode, Dracula's leave to Blood Hunt. Actually, the last time we saw was actually Avengers. By Jason Aaron, we saw his own country. But Deadpool himself, it's like, prior to this book, it's like after the Wands wrapped up, it's like, Marvel just had him appear sporadically. It's like, they have him around because people love Deadpool. It's just that, may not be his cup of tea when it comes to Deadpool books to come out, but that's kind of how it is. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share notifications. Next up we have is the final episode of Miyu, a comic corner, and it's back to Slayers. Yep. Thanks, dude. Bye.